Hi, my name is Juliana Dow, and my presentation is on Plato, the Greek philosopher. Born Aristocles, Plato was one of the most influential philosophers of all time. He was an Athenian citizen, and he was a student of Socrates. A fact about Plato is that he fought in the Peloponnesian War against Sparta. And after Socrates' death, Plato traveled the Mediterranean region and began writing extensively. Some of his writings include The Republic, The Apology, and The Allegory of the Cave. So today I'm going to be talking about the Allegory of the Cave, which was a conversation between Socrates and Glaucon. And here's a video that was assigned to us to watch in class for us to be helped to understand what it was. So I'm just going to play that.
Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and the fire is a raised walkway. Now imagine that each day a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Animals and people carrying their wares to market. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners. This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known. The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that a prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the very first time. And it is like nothing he could have ever imagined. With his new perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow. They cannot understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.
So here is a summary that I wrote about the allegory of the cave, and basically there are prisoners chained to a wall, and they are turned to the cave wall, and there is a bridge in between where the wall is, and there is a fire. So there are people, animals that walk by on the bridge, and these prisoners see the shadows, but they don't know what it is. So one of the prisoners is released, and his eyes start adjusting to the sun, and he sees all these wonderful things in the world. So he goes back to the cave to tell his friends, the prisoners, what the world's like and everything. And the prisoners don't know who he is. They can't understand what he's talking about and everything. And the conclusion is this was Plato's way of explaining to people what it was like in his mind as a philosopher. That he has all these ideas, he's saying all these things, but other people just can't understand that. And that's really interesting about Plato, that he would use this to try to explain this to people. But that was my presentation about Plato, and I hope you enjoyed it.